Councilmember Oates.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. We'll do the roll call, starting with District 1 City Council Member Jacob Hernandez.
Present.
Councilmember Alan Hill.
Present.
District 2 Council Members Kelly Jordan.
Present.
Councilmember Simmons.
Present.
District 3 Council Members Oates.
Present.
And Councilmember Ranker is away. He might or might not join. And District 4, Councilmember and Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Present.
And Councilmember Mitchell.
Present.
Thank you. We'll do the announcements and comments in the same order. And remember, we do not have a comment at the end of the meeting, so if council wants to make comments, this is the time, only time we have, starting with Councilman Hernandez.
Well, I just want to begin by congratulating everyone for a groundbreaking. Councilmember Hugh and I attended a groundbreaking at the Monarch Preschools in, that's right, adjacent to the United Methodist Church on Rhode Island Avenue. Thank you to city staff for putting together a wonderful event. We were also joined by Senator Jim Rosapep. For those who, I think we did it in the last council, we approved a $50,000 grant to help with this particular playground. We also assisted with $35,000 for the sidewalk on the Rhode Island Service Road. This is going to be an amenity that's going to be available for everyone and a great addition to one of our public-private partners. Additionally, we had a great event this past Saturday, Hey Hollywood, sponsored by the North College Park Civic Association. I would say about 100 people showed up throughout the time that we were there. Neighbors gathered to talk a little bit about some of the city happenings, but also really get to program out the city streetscape right there on Edgewood and Rhode Island Avenue. Residents were able to learn some karate from their neighbors and do some laughter yoga. So it was a great time and looking forward to the next event. Thank you.
Thank you. I really enjoyed, even though I could not attend the entire time, and really enjoyed the yoga part. It's pretty entertaining. Thank you. Councilmember Hill.
Yes, I echo the comments made by my colleague. Yes, thank you for the residents who showed up to make the Hey Hollywood event better, fun, more participating event. It's hard to have that level of fun and connection without people showing up. So I just got back from the International Town and Gown Conference. Some really good sessions while we were there. I had to split some of them with our city manager and other staff that we couldn't all be in one at the same time. There were so many good sessions being offered. Since then, I did a really interesting a workshop with the Council of Governments on data center land use. I learned a lot of information there. And we had a Good Neighbor Day planning kickoff meeting. And the Climate, Energy, and Policy Committee meeting. I do too much lists, so just know that I'm working in the background for y'all. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for everything you do. Appreciate it. Councilmember Jordan.
Yes, thank you. I was privileged to be able to attend the Council of Governments Emergency Preparedness Council meeting earlier this week. We discussed a number of the events that are going to be happening this summer in DC and how they'd affect the region, including substantial numbers of road closures for the many events. Also today, I attended the PTA fundraiser at Lito's Pizza, just less than a block from here, for Paint Branch Elementary School to raise funds for their upcoming pre-K, kindergarten, and fifth grade promotion ceremonies. And if you're listening and want to make an order, the fundraiser is continuing until 10 p.m. tonight. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I was there earlier, but I couldn't see anyone. Probably that time they didn't start. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Simmons.
Thank you so much. Just a quick note to let everyone know that this Sunday, June 7th, from 9 a.m. to noon, the Berwyn District Civic Association will be holding a native pollinator plant planting at the Trolley Trail Permaculture Garden. So I am sure that they would love to have anyone and everyone assist with that endeavor.
Thank you. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the residents who participated last week's Memorial Day event at the American Legion, and I want to thank American Legion for hosting the event, and also I want to thank the staff and the members of the VFW and the Veterans Memorial Committee for hosting it. It was well attended, even though the weather wasn't cooperating. Thank you. Councilmember Oates.
Great. First, I just wanted to welcome our student liaison to their first full meeting. Excited to have you here. A few things as we're looking into the summer. I know it's a little early, but as you're planning out your June, wanted to highlight Trolley Trail Day coming up on June 13th. At the last meeting, I noted budget outbrief from the 21st District delegation for Calvert Hills Citizens Association. That's been rescheduled for June 22nd. And again, the Calvert Hills Ice Cream Social will be June 27th. Excited to see people there. Thank you.
Thank you. So many things going on, Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Yes, and I want to just remind seniors that tomorrow the senior event is at the College Park Woods Clubhouse, and you would be able to pick up your fall prevention packet there. And there's still a few more days left to register for the Grab Bar rebate program. And I don't want to steal all of our thunder, but we have a ice cream social coming up this Saturday from 1 to 3:30 at the College Park Woods Clubhouse, and I will allow my colleague to share with you about Monday. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, on June 8th, the 21st delegation will be attending the College Park Woods Clubhouse to give a debrief about the post-session. So anyone who would like to attend, please do come by starting from 6 to 8. Also, I would like to say congratulations to Dr. Sean Joseph, who has been appointed as the actual superintendent of schools for Prince George's County as of yesterday at 11:30. There was a press conference. Also wanted to extend a heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Sandy Abuja, who is the current executive director for College Park Academy, but she is retiring, and there was a farewell celebration for her today. And I can't say enough about what she has done as far as the impact that she has made for us here in College Park. I don't think many of us are well aware that College Park Academy is the number 2 school, high school, in the state of Maryland. And that's phenomenal. So that's something that we should be very proud of. We should be wrapping our arms around as far as the support to College Park Academy, and I look forward to having more conversations about that in the fall. 2 other comments. One, for myself and Mayor Pro Tem Mackey, we are happy to announce that we have our intern for District 4, and that intern will be concentrating on a quality of life program for our community. And it just so happened the intern is the former student liaison, but he is often running with trying to put together a survey as well as doing door knocking to help really talk to our community about what it means to have the quality of life that they deserve, and how we can make sure we can put some type of components in there that will help preserve the quality of life, but also look at some pieces of policy that we can bring forth to our colleagues for consideration. And that's all I have for now, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go to a student liaison. Ms. Martin.
Hi, I just want to say I'm really happy to be here tonight with you guys. And then looking at the agenda, I just want to stress the importance of affordability for our students. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to our city manager's report, Mr. Young.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, residents of College Park. Just two quick announcements. One, I just want to congratulate Kaisha Barber, our Director of Family and Youth and Senior Services, on her application. We were notified today that we were awarded by No Kid Hungry organization an award of $25,000 for a consultant to take on a feasibility study for us and looking into how we might be able to implement a child tax credit program here in College Park. Only the second item is just wanted to remind everybody that we have free parking in the garage all summer after 5 p.m. and invite our residents down here to the downtown area, even those that live far up north. Thank you.
What people are looking this way. Mr. Young, so not to put him on the spot, the trolley trail day, is it happening on the 13th or next week? I believe on 13th.
It's the 13th.
On
13th.
Okay. Saturday, 9 o'clock.
Mr. Mayor,
All right.
I'm sorry,
Mr.
just
Mitchell.
just a question in regards to, I'm excited about this. Yeah. Do we know how many people were accepted amongst our application?
We don't yet. I can find out that information and give that to you all.
Okay. And also want to say thank you to the city manager and to Ms. Barber, because this is another one of my harebrained ideas that I brought to them to ask to do at the very last minute, and they were very amenable to do this, and this means a lot for College Park. And again, if we can find out how many other people applied to see what the part of the East Coast was accepted versus the West Coast, because this is mayors across the United States. So for us to have this, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for letting us use your name on the application
Oh, certainly.
as well.
That's the least I could do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your leadership and your help. Appreciate it. All right, let's do the acknowledgement. We do have former District 2 Councilmember Bob Catlin in the room. Thank you, Bob. I do not see anyone joining virtually. Seeing none. Let's do the proclamations. We have 3 proclamations. The first one is about Immigrant Heritage Month, and it reads as follows. Whereas Immigrant Heritage Month allows us to celebrate our origins as a nation of immigrants, and whereas generations of immigrants from every corner of the globe have built our country's economy and created the unique character of our nation, and whereas immigrants continue to grow businesses, strengthen our economy, and create jobs in College Park and around the nation, and whereas immigrants have provided the United States with unique social and cultural influences, fundamentally enriching the extraordinary fabric of our nation. And whereas immigrants have been tireless leaders, not only in securing their own rights and access to equal opportunity, but also in campaigning to create a more fair and just society for all Americans. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park do hereby proclaim that June 2026 is designated as Immigrant Heritage Month in the City of College Park, and we encourage all residents to embrace the significant contributions of our immigrant population. So proclaim this second day of June 2026. Fazil Kabir, Mayor, City of College Park. The second proclamation is about Pride Month, and it reads as follows. Whereas this nation was founded upon the principles that all people are created equal and are entitled to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And whereas Pride Month is an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the history, achievements, and contributions of LGBTQIA+ individuals in College Park and throughout the nation, and whereas LGBTQIA+ residents Visitors and youth should feel empowered to live openly and authentically, free from discrimination, harassment, bullying, and fear. And whereas promoting equality, understanding, and acceptance strengthens our community and reflects the values of justice and inclusion shared by the residents of College Park. And now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park, the June 2026 is hereby recognized as Pride Month in the City of College Park, and all residents are encouraged to celebrate diversity, promote inclusion, and continue working toward equality and justice for all. So proclaimed this second day of June 2026, Fazil-Kim Mayor, City of College Park. The third and last proclamation is about Chesapeake Bay Awareness Week proclamation, which runs from June 6 to 14, 2026, and reads as follows: whereas Chesapeake Bay is the largest estuary in United States and a vital natural resource supporting diverse ecosystem, agriculture, fisheries, and local communities across the region. And whereas the Chesapeake Bay watershed spans 6 states, and the District of Columbia includes major tributaries such as the Potomac and Susquehanna rivers, and provides drinking water, recreation, and economic opportunity for more than 18 million people. And whereas the Chesapeake Bay supports a strong regional economy through seafood harvesting, farming, tourism, and environmental stewardship, while serving as an important resource for future generations. And whereas protecting and restoring the health of the Chesapeake Bay remains essential to preserving clean water, wildlife habitats, public health, and the quality of life for residents throughout the watershed. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park that June 6 to 14, 2026, hereby recognized Chesapeake Bay Awareness Week in the City of College Park, and all residents are encouraged to recognize the importance of the Chesapeake Bay watershed and support efforts to preserve this natural resource for future generations. So be proclaimed this second day of June 2026 for the Mayor, City of College Park. Now we go to public comments. Now we have adopted new council rules and procedure, and in the new rules and procedure, public can comment on anything, including anything that we have on tonight's agenda. So anything under the sun, you can comment on. The only restriction is you only have 3 minutes. Mr. Catlin, for the record, please.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Kabir, members of the City Council. Bob Catlin, College Park resident for going on almost 40 years. Here tonight for a couple of things. I've been to a couple meetings this year, and I started talking about how the parking garage came to be, and I have some odds and ends to wrap up on that discussion. First, I want to talk about a very negative thing that happened in the Midtown area in the last few days. The 2 businesses that operate in the Cambria Hotel, the Orange Theory, which is a fitness center, which has been there since 2019, about a year after the hotel opened, and the Primetime Restaurant, which is the second upscale restaurant that's been in the hotel. They opened about 14 months ago. The restaurant closed for business as of last Sunday. Oh. So there's 2 major spaces in the Cambria Hotel that are vacant now. So that's a huge negative for our stretch of Route 1. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Oh. With respect to the parking garage, I've talked about a number of how it came to be. I think I'll deal with some numbers tonight. I talked about, I think the cost of the actual construction ended up being about $9 million, but we attributed about $1 million of that to Lido. So when we issued the tax-exempt bond, we had to pay the $1 million up front because you couldn't use a tax-exempt bond for a business like that. The city paid for the parking garage for the loan basically on new revenue. We charged, we raised the price of parking tickets. We raised the price of the meters. We used the revenue that was generated from the monthly parking in the building, and I believe it came out to about $500,000, and so that was supposed to pay for the debt on the parking garage, so it wouldn't directly burden our city residents. I talked about how we got $100,000 from the developer of the Terrapin Row retail complex for a fee in lieu for him not giving us 70 parking spaces in his development. That was an interesting thing. That developer was the only developer who's ever sued the city. He sued us twice, and one time it was about that fee. Another developer who wanted to use the parking for in lieu of providing some of his own parking was the Landmark apartment complex near here. Interestingly, that did not come to fruition because we had a lot of difficulties with Landmark on other issues. Interestingly, Landmark was the only developer the city ever threatened to sue. Lido Pizza went into the building a little bit more a year after it opened. It opened in August of 2009, so they opened in late 10 or maybe early 11. I think when Lido left about in 2020, they left the city owing us about over $500,000 in unpaid rent. They always had financial trouble in the summertime when the students were gone, and so the city had to bear the cost of that, it turned out.
Thank you.
So I think that's all the numbers I wanted to give you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that story. And I'm sorry to hear that Prime Time is leaving. I know Peter Chang left last month, I believe. But thankfully, we have added quite a few new businesses in 2025 in downtown College Park as well. Thank you for sharing. All right, anyone else wants to speak? Please come forward. State your name for the record.
Hussain Wahid, Advanced Technology Acceleration, University of Maryland, College Park. I just wanted to thank all the proposals that come forward here during discussions, and they have added to the initiatives that advanced technology can be utilized, and that too through appreciative collaboration. As I mentioned, I noted there were a lot of discussions regarding the safety part and also the affordability of housing, and we'd like to see how the best of the innovations can be brought forward and an open collaboration initiated for these. But obviously, it'll take some time before I have put together that proposal for guidelines on open collaboration, and I think all of you have received it for several weeks now. And if that can be started, it'll be helpful. But if you are busy with other things, that's fine too. We can keep this moving. And thank you for the information about College Park Academy being number 2 in the state for excellence. It'll help. We'll be in touch with the PTSA and see how they can facilitate the information sharing during the summer months, because that's the time when the preparation of the students can be enhanced significantly. So that's one part. And also, I just wanted to point out, I've been talking about the excellence that University of Maryland has contributed with respect to its #1 ranking, but I did not realize exactly how that had worked out to be. You know, mostly you look at academic output and the economic output and the efficiency. But recently, one incident in Washington State brought me back to this whole thing. There was a big accident and 11 people lost their lives. It was for the paper mill. And then I found out the way the implementation works in Maryland is very different from other states, even though their ranking may be close. But Maryland has a better implementation, interactive implementation of specifications and standards than many other competitive states, and that proved to be decisive in this instance, and also for transformative economic efficiency. So it's a great support. All these facts help advance that initiative for technology advancement and the standards at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you have joined online and if you want to speak, please raise your virtual hand and we will allow you to speak. Seeing none, let's go to the next item, which is the amendments and approval of the agenda. I believe there are at least 2 of them. Let me, here's some. Okay, Councilmember Simmons.
I move to remove presentation A, recruitment of housing program manager, from the agenda.
Second.
Councilmember Simmons and Councilmember Jordan, seconded by. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? So this one is added, rather removed. And there is a request to add a closed session that has to be also amended. Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
That we have a closed session after the presentation on lead silver, or lead, whatever lead. Thank you.
To get legal advice.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Mackey, seconded by Council Member Hernandez. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? This has been added. Now we entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as
So
amended.
moved.
Moved by Councilmember Mitchell and seconded by
Second.
Councilmember Hernandez. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? The agenda has been approved. All right. Now we go to consent agenda. There are 3 of them. And let me read them first, and then I will entertain a motion. The first one is 26G49, award of contract in the amount of $306,959 to National Auto Fleet Group under Sourcewell contract number 032824-NF to purchase one 2027 Freightliner M2106 Plus Cummins N9 300 horsepower engine, Allison 3500 RDS transmission with 10 feet SS snow ready dump body by Johnson Truck Center. Second one is 25G50 legislation action request, otherwise called LAR, for MML's considerations. And third and final one is 26G54, approval of the February 24, 2026 Mayor and Council meeting minutes. Can I get a motion for that, please?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Mackey, seconded by Councilmember Hernandez. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, any abstention? The consent agenda has been approved. Now we go to the presentation, and we have only one presentation, which is the lead city presentation, and this will be presented by our Deputy City Manager, Michelle Bailey Hatchpeth, and also she will be joined by City Senior Planner, Carlos Nunes. The floor is yours.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. I first just wanted to introduce this great project that we're working on. Carlos has been instrumental and is actually the real project MVP on this. So we're working to, we were invited to join a cohort of cities for LEAD Cities Initiative. And over the last few months, staff has met with the cohort and has started the process. Carlos will go in more depth about what LEAD is, but LEAD is a designation that mostly people know for buildings, but the city will be one of under 300, there's currently 300 cities that are designated, cities and counties throughout the United States, and the city of College Park, if we're successful, will be the first one in Prince George's County to be designated as a LEAD city, which is a big news, and it's actually a pretty impressive process that once we get through it. So I'd like to introduce Carlos Nunes, who's going to be making the presentation tonight, and we're here for any questions you may have about the LEAD process. And LEAD is Leadership and Environmental Design. Well, I'm mixing one E, but come on up, Carlos. It's your show.
Thank you.
Please.
Mr. Nunes, thank you so much. Pretty exciting.
Wow, thank you very much for the introduction.
You're a star.
Checks in the mail. So,
Good evening, everyone. And again, thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I can honestly say that planning, the entire staff is really excited about this project. We're very proud of it. I know it's been, for a lot of people here, a long time coming that we do something like this. I may underscore some of the things that Michelle touched on. I'll go a little in depth because I think some people are somewhat familiar with LEED, probably because of LEED buildings. So let me get into this. So what is LEED? LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. It is the world's most widely used green building rating system, administered by the U.S. Green Building Council, acronym USGBS. It provides a framework for healthy, efficient, carbon-saving, and cost-effective sustainable buildings. In addition to certifying buildings, as we mentioned, LEED also certifies local governments such as ours, counties and municipalities, to recognize local governments who prioritize good environmental practice. The city is applying to be a LEED certified city to recognize our commitment to safeguarding the environment. So why are we doing LEED for cities? LEED provides a recognized framework for measuring sustainability performance, identifying opportunities for improvement, and tracking progress over time. As Michelle mentioned, College Park was competitively selected as only one of 17 communities in this cohort, joining a relatively small group of participating communities worldwide. Currently, globally, there's on or about 300. So we're in good company. Who else has achieved LEED for cities? As you can see on that screen, the slide highlights several jurisdictions in our region that have achieved LEED certification. Certification would position College Park as a sustainability leader and potentially the first municipality in Prince George's County to achieve LEED for city status. Our LEED team, I'm sorry I couldn't fit everyone in here, but I can promise you that practically everyone on staff here at the City of College Park and beyond is going to be helping us out. It's a cross-departmental effort involving planning, engineering, administration, sustainability, grants, and GIS staff. I guess tonight we're roasting Kenny when I say that the initiative grew from discussions led by Kenny about creating a comprehensive framework for measuring and tracking sustainability performance. The current project status, we've completed the initial workshops and gap analysis and are now focused on collecting and organizing data needed for certification. The certification goal is targeting silver certification, which is considered both ambitious and achievable based on existing programs and resources. Even though we're targeting silver, it's not to say that as we're going along this process that we wouldn't be, upping the ante up to gold. The city's strengths that we have, the city already has several strengths that support LEED certification, including transit, accessibility, sustainability, planning efforts and partnerships with regional agencies and the University of Maryland, who we're currently working with. The next steps that we have, or the next phase, focuses on collecting data, documenting performance metrics, and preparing certification materials while building a long-term sustainability tracking system. So the timeline, in essence, we're currently in the data collection and benchmarking phase of the LEED process. Over the next 18 to 24 months, staff will continue documenting performance metrics, pursuing credits, and preparing materials for certification, review, and submission. Even though I said 18 to 24 months, from our conversations, if we get everything right and our third parties come back with the data that we're trying to compile, we could probably finish in 12 to 14 months. So in terms of cost, most program costs are currently covered through the city's participation in the LEED cohort. That's the benefit of getting accepted into this program. Future costs are expected to be modest and primarily related to staff coordination and ongoing data management. As stated in your information sheet, the membership was paid for, $1,500. The project registration fee was $1,350, and the certification process itself is $8,000. So in terms of the overall benefits, as you can see there, the initiative supports data-driven decision-making, strengthens competitiveness for grants and funding opportunities, enhances partnerships, and helps establish long-term benchmarks for tracking progress across environmental, economic, and governance objectives. Also keep in mind that on June 11th, USGBC will be holding a summit at the University of Maryland, and Mayor Kabir will be providing remarks. So, in summary, College Park was selected as, again, as pointed out, it was selected as only one of 17 communities nationwide for the 2026 Lead for Cities cohort. The initiative supports the city's sustainability and resiliency goals while providing a framework for measuring progress and pursuing certification. So if anybody has any questions,
Pretty
we'll be happy to
exciting,
answer them.
certainly. And thank you, Mr. Young, and thank you for your leadership in bringing this up. It's such a honorable opportunity for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll make history. Thank you. Any questions? There should be some. Oh, I see that. Councilor Mitchell, I'm still trying to learn.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Hughes first.
Councilor here first? Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is great news. When I first got on council back in 2013, when new development came before the City of College Park, we started that conversation of requiring them to be LEED certified and setting those goals. So this is quite the accomplishment and good news for me that we're doing this. My only real question is what is going to be our biggest lift on this? Are we expected to bring developments that are not at LEED certification into LEED certification? Are we going to be required to assist them in doing that with some sort of subsidy? What are the big changes that we will have to take on?
Well, the main is the national recognition. I mean, I could tell you when we were first looking at this, we didn't know much about it, and we reached out to the county to Arlington County in Virginia. They're platinum status. So I think that in and of itself kind of proves that everyone kind of knows what LEED is, but when you seek out direction on how to get a designation or how you achieve certain benchmarks, we'll be in that group. We're in that kind of dignified group that you saw there. We'll be a part of that, and people will be reaching out to us. I think developers also look for LEED certified cities. It helps with the grants. It kind of just puts you in a different threshold. There's really nothing negative about being in the cohort or being designated. And I think the more you go along with it year after year, it just kind of it's a testament to how you're doing in terms of your quality of life that you're offering your residents, and it's a place that people want to live and do business in.
So this is more so for what we're currently doing moving forward. We didn't have to try to do retrospect work with other entities within the city.
Can you expound on the question?
So moving forward, we'll practice what is required of us to have this city level LEED certification.
Yeah, council member, I think you're asking if there's a requirement that we have to have a certain number of LEED buildings or make it as standards. What we would do is that sorry, I don't know if there's not necessarily a requirement to have additional LEED buildings. It's more the fact that we will kind of basically track our assets across the city and across the different entities to move up or to change our to look at the different certification. But we're encouraging, of course, more LEED assets in the city, but there's not necessarily a cost requirement that the city would have to undertake, which I don't know if that was part of your first part of your question.
It's more so that whether we would have to okay, there we go. It's more so do we have to go to existing buildings that are nowhere near LEED certification, some of the older buildings in our city, and require them to become or assist them to become LEED certified?
Yeah, you got that one. I'll let you.
Yeah. So there, distinguish between so there's LEED buildings and there's LEED for cities. So in terms of getting the different, so it's a scorecard and you're trying to get points to that scorecard. So if you have a building that's not LEED certified, for example, or that other types of infrastructure that aren't there yet, that doesn't count. Really, you may, let's say that there's a particular category where you can score 10 points. It may be, and it's been the case as we've looked at, cities that even have platinum status that scored a 2 out of 10. That doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that that's your benchmark for that particular category, whether it's waste, whether it's EV charging stations and buses. So it's not like you have to nail 100%. It's sort of, when we got into the cohort, we had to determine where we felt we were at. So we're kind of at the level where we think what's achievable, what's attainable is the silver status, based on what we currently can prove in terms of the infrastructure that we have. Moving forward, if we decided that we wanted to go gold or even platinum, that I think probably lends itself to what you're saying, which is now we have more buildings that are LEED certified. Now we have EV buses, which actually Maryland has. We don't currently have in the city of College Park proper, but they're about to roll that out, I think, a bigger fleet starting next year. I think they have a few in the city now as testers, but they're planning to roll that out. So things like that as we grow and as we, we're not expected to kind of like hit a requirement right from the get-go. We've already hit it because we were accepted into the cohort. We had to actually prove from what we have that we're sustainable and that we're on an upward trajectory. So that's why we were accepted into the program.
Okay.
Great, thank you. And I'm
Thank
proud
you.
to be. I'm proud of us to be there.
Thank you,
Certainly.
Councilmember.
It's a journey, but we'll be there. I saw Councilor Mitchell raise hand first. Is
Yes,
that-
yes,
yeah,
Mr. Mayor.
Please
Now,
go.
I just want to say again, like Councilman Hughes said, we've been talking about this since 2013. And this is truly, tonight, another reason to celebrate. And thank you, Carlos, for what you've done with the team to get us here. The question I have, it may be somewhat to string a little bit away for Councilmember Hughes, since we're in this cohort, when we have prospective developments or buildings coming to us, will you be working with them on the certification for LEED, for silver?
So as I understand it, even now when we look at a site plan, a lot of
Yes.
times they have the LEED certifications of different levels. For example, like they have the LEED silver. I think the Mark actually had that on
Right.
certain site plans. So
Right.
they have their own types. There's so many different types of LEED certifications that first things first, what we're doing now is basically pulling data that we currently have, and then yes, that will be, I think, part of our mantra and part of our mission is to get as many people involved in being more green and adding to the quality of life here at the City College Park, for sure.
Again, thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hernandez.
What do you need from us? First off, really exciting, but what do you need from us with regards to like trying to keep this project or these efforts going forward? Because I mean, it's obviously really exciting, and it might bring in some additional funding into the city. Of course, we have the priority across a variety of our different policies that are environmentally inclined. I'm just wondering, is there something that we could be doing as a council in order to bolster yours and the rest of the team's efforts?
Thank you for the question. I think this is one of those where it doesn't really require a lot of undue energy on your part. I think you just need to promote the city. I think sort of like the mayor is doing on June 11th. This is one of those things that's you're not selling anything. You're really promoting and being proud of the fact that we're going to get this designation. We're in the cohort. We're a green city. We have great infrastructure to add to the quality of life for the residents. It's really the type of thing that you want to spread by word of mouth. We have it listed on the website now, but from Bank of America to the USGBC to other entities, they're kind of doing the promotion for us at this point, which is great. So there's nothing. I think just promotion from the council members is what's going to help.
Oh,
He hadn't finished, right? Okay.
Okay, we're all just getting used to this new tech. No, that's great. I think a wonderful opportunity to do that could possibly be at the Quantum Congress that's coming up in September, right? The city, the state, the country has invested in Maryland, especially College Park being the capital of quantum. This is a wonderful opportunity if you're able to thread in the multiple efforts that we have ongoing. So I'm excited, and I hope that we could possibly thread that into the future discussions.
So,
And let me add, I know that most of you are involved with committees that have environment as a huge component. So I'm sure they're going to shake your hands and be ecstatic that you're a part of this cohort. So I know Councilmember Mitchell with MCOG, if I'm not mistaken, they were actually very instrumental in getting us into the cohort. We needed some information last minute, and the same day they had a turnaround and gave us the data that we needed, and we got in. So
I'm going to be telling
shout out to
everyone
them.
at MML, like, that we're a lead city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And we are Sustainable Maryland certified as well, and continuously we're getting that recognition. So this will only help, certainly.
I was going to just
Yeah.
add, as we go through our strategic planning efforts that we're getting ready to embark on, I believe Ms. Reams has that coming up, I think your next meeting, to start that discussion. Those are some of the things that we're going to be looking at, and how can we align those with the different committees that we have, the initiatives that we have, and kind of where we want to be leading out into our actual anniversary that we have coming up. Thanks.
Certainly. Thank you. Mayor Protem?
Yes, I also was very excited to read this report, and didn't realize that the first phase takes, you said 18 to 24 months, quite a long time. So I'm just wondering, do you foresee a need for additional staff in the future?
I think we have a tremendous staff, and I really think that if it was up to us, we could completely get it done in 12 to 14 months. The only holdup is going to be when we're trying to get data that's outside the City of College Park's control, which is, for example, a utility company or someone else that has the data that we need. It might take some time getting information back. But I can tell you that the team that we currently have is phenomenal. And you saw the names, you know who's working on it. The slide wasn't big enough for me to include everybody, but everyone's just been tremendous to work with at LEAD as well. I know that when you meet them, you're going to have the same impression that I had, which is they've been absolutely beyond hospitable and beyond generous with their time in getting us to this point.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. I don't think there is any more questions, but let us know any way we could support you, and this is such an exciting journey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. At this point, I will entertain a motion for closed session, and
Motion to go into closed session?
before we do that, I need to read out that statement. Am I correct? And it reads as follows. Pursuant to the Maryland Annotated Code, General Provisions, Article 3-305B, the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park will enter into a closed session to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice for action items 26G52 and 26G53, considerations of the mark located at 4313 Knox Road and 4330 Hartwick Road. The Mayor and Council will return to session. So at this point, I will entertain a motion.
Moved.
Second.
Okay, so we'll be, we don't need that, right? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, any abstention? So we are closed, and we'll be coming back. Should we be setting any time? Don't need to. Huh? Okay. We'll let you know. Welcome back. Thank you all for your patience. So before we get into the next action item, I like to entertain a motion to close the closed session and go into open session.
Motion to close the closed session and go into the open session.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Hernandez, seconded by Councilmember Mitchell. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, any abstention? So we are back to open session. So at this point, we'll be discussing two action items first. One is 26G52, the other is 26G53. And this will be taken by, both of them, taken by our Director of Planning, Miriam Bader. The first one is about consideration of a letter to the Prince George's County Planning Board regarding approval of the preliminary plan of subdivision PPS 2024-016 for the mark located at 4313 Knox Road and 4330 Hartwick Road to combine two parcels into one parcel, recommend BPIS improvements and act on a variation petition to waive the 10-foot wide public utility easement PUE. Ms. Bader, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. For the record, Miriam Bader, Director of Planning and Community Development. Tonight, the City Council will review the preliminary plan of subdivision, PPS-2024-016, and detailed site plan DET 2024-09, and the associated variation requests submitted by the MARC at College Park. I'll briefly summarize the project, public benefits, transportation improvements, and the staff recommendation. The following slides go over the history of the project. I'm going to skip ahead unless the council has questions regarding the history, and we can go back at this. Sorry. The project site is approximately 4.53 acres and is located at 4330 Hartwick Road and 4313 Knox Road. The existing College Park Towers buildings will be demolished and replaced with two new student housing buildings containing 589 dwelling units and approximately 2,030 beds. This project implements the previously approved rezoning from RTO L-E to RTO PD. As part of that approval, the applicant committed to several public benefits, including public pedestrian promenade, a pocket park, pollinator garden, bicycle and micro-mobility improvements, green building elements, a future Ancestors Lane connection, and reduced price housing opportunities. The preliminary plan of subdivision is to consolidate two existing condominium parcels into a single lot. Garage access would be provided from Hartwick Road only, with no vehicular access from Knox Road. Public easements are also proposed for the pedestrian promenade and the future Ancestors Lane connection. The applicant submitted a traffic impact analysis showing transportation impacts are within acceptable limits. The project also includes several bicycle and pedestrian improvements, including raised bicycle-compatible crosswalks, potential bike lane improvements along the project frontage. Also, with council approval, we could designate at least two ride share and delivery spaces off of Hartwick Road. The development includes two buildings with interior courtyards and heights ranging from approximately 7 to 10 stories. The western building contains the parking garage. Exterior materials include masonry, metal panels, cast stone, and concrete. Because the property is located in Aviation Policy Area 6, the FAA reviewed the project and determined it not to be a hazard to air navigation. The project exceeds the minimum parking requirements by providing 573 parking spaces, which is 184 spaces above the required 389 spaces, in a two-level underground garage. The parking includes ADA spaces, EV charging spaces, visiting parking, and delivery spaces. The project also includes micromobility docking stations and enhanced bicycle infrastructure. The project includes several public amenities centered around the pedestrian promenade connecting Knox Road and Hartwick Road. Features include plazas, seating areas, public art, interactive installations, wayfinding signage, bicycle repair station, a pocket park with a pollinator garden. Private amenities for residents include courtyards and a rooftop pool. Subject to the recommended conditions of approval as specified in the Declaration of Covenants, City staff recommends approval of the preliminary plan of subdivision, PPS-2024-016, detailed site plan DET 2024-09, and the associated variation request. City Council can decide if they want to add a condition to the DOC to designate at least 2 on-street parking spaces on Hartwick for 15-minute parking for drop-off pickups to accommodate rideshare and delivery services. This concludes staff presentation. Are there any questions?
Thank you. And you did mention about the DET, which is the
Yes.
next action item. So it looks like there isn't a separate.
Yes, I would recommend there do be 2 motions. So
2
one to-
motions, but we can discuss both of them together.
We can discuss both of them because it's connected.
Yeah, they're related. Okay. Thank you. Before we ask applicant to come in, is there any question to staff? Mr. Hernandez?
Director Bitter, when did the applicant first present? I can't remember. It was April 15th?
April 15th, right? Is that what
On March 4th, 2025, the MARC came before City Council to discuss the request to rezone their property to the planned development. March 4th, 2025.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Simmons.
Thank you. I just have a question about the parking. I would have anticipated that under the new ordinance, this would be subject to parking maximum requirements as well. Is that the case?
Normally there is a parking maximum, but in this case, this was done as a planned development, so they get to set their own standard. So maybe I misstated that in that they exceeded the previous parking requirement with the planned development.
Unstructured parking has no maximums in these zones.
Oh.
In these zones, yes.
Okay, I stand corrected. There's no maximum.
What?
For structured parking.
Okay, for structured parking, there's no maximum.
Under the new ordinance?
Come on.
Sorry, yes, Councilmember Simmons, this is Nate Foreman with the City Solicitor's Office. That was one of the concerns that I had when I was viewing the project. And under the new zoning ordinance in the RTO zone, which is a regional transit-oriented zone, one of the transit-oriented activity center zones, they do have maximum standards except when it's in structured parking, because there is trying to encourage structured parking in these areas around transit.
That is very interesting. Thank you. I appreciate the clarification. Do we
My pleasure.
happen to know by what amount, if there were the parking maximum applied, by what amount it would be over?
The applicant may have that information.
He says no.
The applicant.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Seeing none. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bader. Let's hear from our applicant. Welcome. Who is going to present from applicant side? Welcome.
How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing fine.
For the record, my name is Chris Hatcher with the law firm of C.L. Hatcher with office in Laurel, here on behalf of the applicant, the MARC at College Park, LLC. Wanted to thank the City of College Park for working with us and coordinating with us over the course of a little over 2 years, even though the application was initiated in March of 2025. Wanted to say a few things just as a housekeeping matter. We are scheduled to be before the planning board on the preliminary plan and the detailed site plan June 11th. That was at the request, at least from the preliminary plan perspective, of the city. We wanted the opportunity to continue to coordinate with you, particularly on the affordability condition, which seemed to get a lot of attention over the course of the last 2 years. So wanted to provide full disclosure to the city council that this is going to be before the planning board the week after, well, next week, the week after next, well, next week. Second, we are still coordinating outside of the affordability condition. We are still coordinating. We have some minor revisions to the Declaration of Covenants. We don't necessarily believe they're substantive, but we will send our minor revisions to your legal counsel, and they can opine about whether they're substantive or not. But again, we don't believe they are substantive, but there are some minor revisions. And the last thing is, I know that considering the amount of attention that it received last time we were before you, as well as the last several times we were before you, we are here to respond to any questions that you might have with respect to the affordability provisions that your staff has provided us. With respect to the affordability provisions, Brad Frome and Hamilton Reynolds are here to respond to any questions you might have.
Thank you. Before we ask questions, can someone from the applicant's team, for the residents who are watching us, talk about those conditions, affordability conditions, from the applicant side?
Sure. We are offering the lesser of 200 beds or 10% of units at a rate of 30% under the market rate, and those beds will be in our 4x2 beds, and it'll be applicable for anyone who is Pell Grant eligible, a military veteran, active duty military, or whose household income does not exceed 80% of the area median income.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And you do agree with that conditions?
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
But before we go, I would just like to add one thing. There is a zoning ordinance condition which speaks to affordability, and so as we agree to this, one of the conditions does say we need to coordinate with you for compliance purposes. So the expectation would be that if we were all amenable, then we would be able to continue to coordinate with you to get whatever correspondence we need to submit into the record to show compliance with that condition.
Okay. I see some head nodding. That is understood.
Yes, we can talk. We'll coordinate that. We understand the condition.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. All right. Any question from council?
I have two, and thank you again for the work that you've done with our staff and our council members. I know Councilmember Ranker has had some discussions with you all, and unfortunately he's abroad and unable to be here with us tonight. I just wanted to clarify that the 30% reduction will be based on comparable configurations in the College Park student housing market. Is that correct?
It's going to be based off the same unit type in the market College Park.
Okay, great. I have a totally separate question, but that was raised in the staff report regarding delivery services and ride-sharing services. I know that an issue in other buildings in the city is that there's not a place for those to exist, and so people block the streets or park in bike lanes or other places. And so one of my requests as you're looking into this is to figure out how to, and from my own experience, a delivery driver is not going to drive to the second basement level of an apartment building to find how to deliver food or pick somebody up. Was looking to see if you all could work with city staff and find out how to create some space for that to exist.
Yes, the applicant has indicated to me that they are amenable to that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any more questions? I don't see any raise. Any final comments from applicants?
Not at this time. Thank you. Really appreciate you guys coordinating with us on this.
Thank you. Appreciate it. At this time, I'll entertain a motion on the first one, 26G52. Councilor Oates, you're in District 3, and this development in your district.
Sure. I move to recommend the approval of the preliminary plan of subdivision PPS 2024-0616 for the MARC located at 4313 Knox Road and 4330 Hartwick Road to combine two parcels into one parcel. Recommend BPIS improvements to up the cost cap and act as a variation petition to waive the 10-foot wide public utility easement.
Sorry, if I can jump in real quick, I think the motion was to be not approval, but support of the preliminary plan of subdivision. And again, sorry, for the record, Nate Foreman.
Yeah, we don't have the we don't have the zoning authority. We can only support it. We cannot approve it.
I would like to amend my motion to incorporate that. So I move to support approval.
Thank you. Seconded by Councilor Mitchell. Further comments? Mr. Oates, Councilor Oates? No further comments. We have taken comments at the beginning of the meeting from public. So at this point, before the vote from the council, if he wants to make any comment, this is the time. Seeing none, do I need to do roll call? Probably not. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? So the motion has been approved. Let's go to the second motion, and we have the discussion. I don't think we need to have a separate presentation or discussion. So this is about 26G53. I'll entertain a motion on that as well. Councilor Oates.
I move to recommend that the City Council recommend. I moved for the City Council to recommend approval of the detailed site plan DET 2024-09.
Support. Is that not instead of approval? Say support.
To recommend support for approval of DET 2024-09 to the Planning Board and approve the declaration of covenants between the applicant and the City of College Park. I'm sorry, I'm reading from the wrong motion sheet. From the applicant and the City of College Park in substantially the attached form, subject to the approval of the city attorney, with added language to provide 1 to 2 drop-off pickup parking spaces to accommodate rideshare delivery services, in which the applicant will provide signage. The details will be worked out between the applicant and the city.
Second. Council Member Mitchell has seconded. Further comments? Probably not.
I may have some comments after the vote, if that's okay.
Before the vote, I think this is the time to make comments.
Just on behalf of Councilmember Ranker, who's not here, I want to convey a few words from him. First of all, so I'll read his comments, and to clarify, I'm reading in his voice rather than in my own. He'd first like to disclose that he's had discussions on several occasions in the last few weeks with a representative of the MARC, and he's grateful to Brad Fromm for helping get us back on track with a declaration of covenants that honors the spirit of what the council had in mind over a year ago. There's a lot of hard work the city staff has done to getting us here, and Councilmember Ranker is appreciative of your work. This isn't a time to hash out the past, but really our hope is that we can look at what we've accomplished and really appreciate the work that the applicant and staff have done to get us here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments from the council before we do the roll call? Not the roll call. Call the vote. Councilor Hernandez.
For me, it's not the outcome, right? It's the method and how we got here. I'll give you the fact that we warmly appreciate the fact that you all made it back to the original deal. But these changes came at the 11th hour. I think it was minutes before the meeting started. So the tension that you experienced there, Mr. Hatcher, is likely from the fact that we agreed to something over a year ago, and you came before council and changed those terms. In addition to that, January 5th, 2026, you submitted a request to remove the affordability clause altogether. Happy to have conversations. I get it. Your responsibility is to represent your client and try to seek, the profits of your stakeholders. Understand. I really, really do. But be upfront with us. We had a conversation. We agreed to a conversation. Honor that conversation. You sat before a legislative body. You heard how we voted. Then you come before council and attempt to embarrass our staff by presenting an email that was more than a year old. Never having clarified with the city manager or council, you ran with 10%. I don't appreciate that. At some point, you're going to have to come before council again on another project. I won't forget this. Do appreciate you guys seeing the light and getting to the original terms of the agreement.
Thank you. All right, any further comments, the council? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So 26G51 has, 26G53 has been approved.
Thank you all for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we move to the final action item, which is 26G51. This is about the consideration of a contract, Charles P. Johnson and Associates, Inc., CPJ, in an amount not to exceed $44,850 for surveying and annexation consulting services, and this will be taken by our Deputy City Manager, Michelle Bailey Hedgepeth.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Michelle Bailey Hedgepeth, Deputy City Manager. I wanted to just do a quick update on annexation and the contract that is before you this evening. Staff is asking the council to consider and approve a contract with CPJ for consulting services. What CPJ will do with this is provide surveying, land use, and data mapping options for options 1 and 2. Staff is anticipating that these will be phased options. So what you see on the following maps will be phased to an extent because these are primarily federal, state, and other local agencies, and which is MNPCC for the most part in Area 1. To provide some information, more context, staff will bring back after allowing us to approve this contract, staff will bring back annexation plans and resolutions. We can also bring back an additional information to council in regards to the series of actions. But what approving this tonight allows us to do is to start the process with CPJ and to work on some different more detailed options for the consulting services. And what they provide are the legal descriptions, the metes and bounds, and they really help in the fact that we are, when we develop the resolutions themselves, to bring to the council. So their consulting services are pretty key. The items again are for review as the option 1, which would include Meseret Road properties. There are 2 privately held properties, one home that is adjacent to Acredale Park, which the resident has actually sought after the city for annexation because they're constantly blocked in from snow, and they would prefer our trash services because our trash services are number 1, I guess, in the area, which I would say they probably are. You don't contract with someone else, and we have a great public works. And the other house, the other property is near the existing homes in College Park Woods, and it's right adjacent to that. So there are really only 2 private property owners in the whole annexation of option 1. The rest of them are churches and nonprofits, and then University of Maryland, who we've worked with, and we've discussed those properties that are adjacent to the apartments. On option 2, the primary thing that we'd be looking for is the MNCC property near Sunnyside Park and the land adjacent to Alhuda School. And then there are sub-options, which are the USDA Agricultural Library and the USDA Sunnyside, and then the other USDA property across from it. But there's also one private property owner, which is a gas station that would be there, and there's a second one, which is in a construction company. And so each of all the 2 options, there's a total of 4 private properties, but the vast majority of the acreage is in regards to federal and state properties. We have on staff, Jacob Vasilati does a great job of our mapping services, which we have here, but being able to kind of put together the exact acreage, especially when you're looking at this USDA parcel and what we would need to do in order to make this a compliant, has to be done by CPJ, because we are looking at crafting the annexation along the waterway, which I can't really show you. Maybe I can. I think right here is this waterway versus this whole swath, because of so that we do not create any enclaves. And that's the reason why the work of CPJ is so important, and a consultant, because of the fact that we have a vision of what we can, but in order to where we'd like to go, but the ability to not create any enclaves and to be in compliance with annexation law would require us to work with a surveyor. And so the city is asking, because we have a contract with CPJ, we're on a piggy bank of a contract with CPJ, that we would use them as the consultant in this case. And so the last thing I wanted to put together was a slide that had some costs and service considerations. With this annexation, again, many of the parcels are MMPC, state and federal property. The infrastructure that's currently there will be and will remain maintained by the state and the county. There will be, in part of this, we'd be annexing part of federal highways, so that we would not be maintaining those. They would have their same maintenance and ownership. In option 1, again, those 2 residents, and then option 2, there are 2 businesses, as I mentioned. Also in option 1, the city already provides some services on these routes when we're talking about Meseret Road, and we're already going through there because we do provide services as far as the snow removal, not trash, to all of the residents. And as part of this, and I know that the council has asked about this before, with the houses that are on the other side, we would work on the potential annexation of those houses, but that is a 1-by-1 process, and that's the process that we'd like to bring back to you all with more information. So they are not included in this particular the scope of services. So and I'll go back to the map so you can see that. There's a set of houses that's right here that we're not considering, because of the fact that we want to be able to go to them 1 by 1, and that would mean that we would have to get a certain number of houses and be able to ask and be able to get a percentage. So that's a more difficult process. We are not going to create an enclave with the USDA property, and it would allow for them to have in and outs. So I hope that provides some for any questions, and I'm here to answer those.
Any questions? Councilor Hernandez, please go ahead.
Oh, no, I just wanted to make a motion. If there was
Please
no
go ahead.
sorry.
There are some questions. Hold on. Councilor Simmons, please go ahead.
Thank you. So I wanted to say I really appreciate staff's energy with bringing this back to us. I do have a number of questions. I was reviewing the local government article of state code. So I know that one of the things that we should have knowledge of is whether, I'm still just unclear on whether the city has a municipal expansion limit, if staff is aware.
I'll let Mr. Young answer that.
I'll have to go back and double check this, but I believe when Miss Ferguson was on board, that was one of the things that she looked at for me. And because we don't have our own municipal zoning authority, it was not something that was required of us. It actually is one of the things that gave us a good legal argument, but I can go back and work with Stephanie, Ms. Anderson, and answer your question fully.
Okay, so, but it seems, is that to say we do not have a municipal expansion limit?
No, we do not have one in place. As far as I've been able to determine. And if you think about it, there's no other really municipality for most of the areas that we're looking at, besides the city of College Park, that could actually annex in these areas, other than maybe Laurel would have to come all the way down.
Yeah, and I guess in the option one, all of those areas are within all of these are within our legislative district, and they also are within our zip code, especially in option one. And and they're technically considered College Park.
Nobody cares about the zip codes.
I know, but it is a thing.
Oh, Denise cares about zip codes. People care about zip codes. That is fair. People care about zip codes, but from a planning perspective, zip codes have no impact. That is interesting to me. I think just understanding that the state does want municipalities to plan for expansion before actually considering the expansion, that it's just, and this is not to say, like, if we don't have a municipal expansion limit, then we don't have a municipal expansion limit, but that is curious, I suppose. I appreciate having a better understanding of how many private property owners are in each of these options. I think it is important, particularly understanding that at least 25% of the voters within each of the areas will need to affirmatively sign on, and then 25% of properties by assessed value, which I'm not quite certain if we know exactly what the assessed value is in these locations. I do think doing that engagement and just understanding that we're going to have the support is really important. It gives me pause about moving forward with going and doing quite significant meets and bounds descriptions when I'm not certain if we have the necessary support. So correct me if I'm wrong on whether we've done, I know we have you said we have one of the property owners who's interested. Do we know if they're a registered voter?
The issue, we can check to make sure they're, but the other property owners that are adjacent to them are churches and our nonprofits, and they're Maryland Park and Planning. So that does not require that 25%. So they would actually, what we are looking to do is to have an individual agreement with each one of those property owners. So we're not going to try to adversely affect the two individual houses. So that is our intent, is to actually work with each one of those property owners and to get permission. So, and that's why we're saying this would be a phased operation, so that we can phase in the areas that do not require that consent, and we would also then come back to the people that require the consent. So we would make sure that we have that, and that would be actually approved by the council, those agreements. So in the case, because there's so few agreements that we would be seeking, we would just seek those two agreements, and option one, and then the same thing in option two. So each one because the rest of them, for the MMPCC and for the state, we do not have to, because those are state, we do not have to seek their permission for those.
So just so I understand, I think I'm misunderstanding something, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to try and clarify. With this phased approach, are we going to survey each of the options without the private property owners included? So they will not be included in either one of these options anymore?
So we will, at the same time, we will seek those two private property owners. The one that we know that is right next to on Meseret Road, on the two on Meseret Road, we are approaching them at the same time. So the cost of the meets and bounds for those small parcels is pretty minuscule, and we will be able to do those simultaneously. That's what our thought pattern has been, is that we can pretty much go and isolate those two and understand that, and just having the information will be helpful to them, because we will do the individual agreements with them at the same time. So we will bring those to you in a package.
Okay, I appreciate that. So if they say, no, I don't want this, we're going to draw them out?
We can, and from the standpoint of, that's where the issue, if we cannot do it, we would probably try to draw them up. But it's the issue on the one on Meseret, we are going to have to convince them to do it to an extent, because they would be, I don't want to talk too much strategy, but it would be helpful to have both of those property owners in there, because of the fact that we don't want to fence them in. So we will make sure that we can have to talk to them, and we will bring something to the council in regards to those issues. But they're very small pieces of property, and we will check with our attorney on any issues that we need to deal with. Does that make sense? Thank you. I was like, I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay, I have maybe one more question.
Please go ahead.
So I think I understand the private property owners, and that takes care of all of the potential voters within those areas, and then all of the assessed value within those areas. Every single other thing is tax exempt?
Correct.
Okay. And the one where we have potential concerns is Area 1?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, there's two businesses in Area 2, and one of the businesses in Area 2, we could exclude one of the businesses in Area 2, because it's on the, we don't necessarily have to annex that property. It's not part of, it can be drawn out. So
But the other one probably cannot be
the other
drawn out.
one is, yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's close, but I mean, we'd be almost surrounding them.
Yeah.
But that would be a super phase. I would say that would be close to a year from now in phasing. I would say that's what I would bring back, that one, the second business in that area, because it's not. I think you have a lot of annexations that you would do from this bulk, and I would say that you would bring them in phases. And just as far as we'd get all of the surveying work done, and then we could bring back pieces of this, because I'd want the council to be deliberate and to be able to have the public discussion on these annexations if possible. So I wouldn't do them all together, if that makes sense. I would work on the MNPCC and move out in regards to some of the ones in option 2.
Okay. Last question is, how engaged, I saw also that the county council has a referendum option on this, which I think only comes into play where we have those private properties. If it's tax exempt, then their referendum vote doesn't equate to, that's just an option that goes away. Is that right?
Yes, I mean the annexations that I have done in Bladensburg, when we did an MMPCC property. We annexed both the park, Bladensburg Park, which was never in Bladensburg, which is interesting, and the public playhouse. We posted it, we did all the things, but we did not have to get formal permission from MMPCC to do those annexations.
Okay.
I hate to put that on the record, but yes, we did. We didn't have to do that. We didn't do that.
Okay. I think that those are my questions for now. I appreciate it. I will say that it makes sense to me. I don't know, just doing the investment of the meets and bounds survey, it seems like we would want to make sure that we have property owner consent before investing that amount of money. So I just want to I want to put that out there because that seems like the one place where, there is some question.
Okay.
So, thank you.
I know there's Councilor Hernandez is going to make the motion. One quick question I have: how long this survey work will take place? I mean, I don't think I've seen anything. in
How
the
long will
packet.
it take?
Yeah.
It can be completed, I believe, by the end of the summer. It doesn't,
Okay.
but there are several parcels, so, just getting a jump on it was, when it was slower, that was what we were hoping to do, and that you didn't have adverse weather.
Okay. And I think last time the council also made a request to do a kind of cost-benefit analysis. Is that
Right, and so I guess the hard part about the cost-benefit analysis long-term, which is what we will put together, is in regards to the, we've tried to put out there that some of these are, is the fact that they're federal and state lands, so we do not have a lot of the traditional costs of the thing. So we're trying to put together one that makes sense and trying to make sure that we give you what we can do. But the one place of private property, we will be able to put that together to you with the agreement. With the commercial piece of property, we will be able to put that together for you.
so? Sometime in August or September.
Yeah,
it'll be
before we bring them to you, we will have something that you can see.
And traditionally, you're looking at extension of water, wastewater, electricity. Those are all things that we're really not looking to do at this point in time. So those are things that we don't traditionally control as the city.
Yeah.
And so, but they are things that we will look at. We also look at for the University of Maryland properties that are affected. What we've traditionally done is come back with an agreement. We've already kind of scheduled some appointments with their real estate department, and we'll start having some of those conversations on how we can move forward. But traditionally, the council has come back with agreements. Actually, as the university has approached the city, this actually kind of takes a step away from them having to go through that process and include properties into the city.
Yeah. The university asked us to look at another parcel. And we are trying to configure that parcel in a way to bring back to you. It's just that we're trying to make sure that we do not create any enclaves there. So that's the reason why they have actually approached us about annexing another parcel.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thank you. All right. Councilor Oates? Councilor Hernandez? Okay,
Thank you.
He has.
I think would be good in the future to, as we talk about annexation, to also talk about the why, like why we're doing this. I think that that's an important piece rather than only looking at the pieces. I know that was in the report from our April packet, so appreciate that we already have that information, but I think particularly as it pertains to different properties. I also know there's been some discussion on the Bark property in particular. I'm happy to hear that we'll be talking to the university, but I particularly want to better understand that piece of this. Maybe that's part of the analysis, maybe that's somewhere else, but just wanted to say that. And then since we have finished I've finished my first budget process, what part of the budget does this actually come out of?
My understanding is that we do have consulting services, and I have asked Mr. I'm going to say Mr. Shannon, Mr. Olive, about whether or not we had some in the CIP that we could use for this. But city manager, if you want to confirm.
We do have CIP dollars, and we do have consulting dollars that are in the Public Works Department.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Mitchell. Do you have your hand?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think Councilmember Oates was asking about the why that we're doing this, and I think, and if I'm off the mark, please forgive me, but I think we talked about the why a couple of months ago, and it wasn't in alignment with the BARC. This is not in alignment with the process of the BARC. This is just talking about the process of doing annexation within the city. We've been talking about annexation for approximately 6 to 8 years prior to some of us being on this council, and the ability to be able to garner land in order to best preserved for moving forward in the future for the city of College Park. In option number 1, we're looking at pieces of property that will, in actuality, protect the community of College Park Woods and Crystal Springs. And that would help us because of the potentiality of the Purple Line, the potentiality of the development of a northern area school, and that it butts near the Pepco lines. And that's right behind College Park Woods. So this is giving us an opportunity to try to have options that will preserve the quality of life of the residents who live there. So that is the why.
Okay. Thank you. If there's no other question, sorry, Councilmember Hill has a question.
It's just a backup of what Councilmember Mitchell was saying is that, if these properties aren't annexed and anything comes before the usage of them, we don't have a seat at the table. This guarantees a seated table, part of discussion with any sort of impact that may come to these lands in the future. So we must, like Councilmember Mitchell said, we must safeguard this for the city.
Thank you. All right, Councilman Hernandez, ready for the motion?
Yeah, sorry. When you asked for it, no one asked for questions. So, all right, sorry. I move that the mayor and council approve a contract with Charles P. Johnson and Associates Incorporated for surveying and annexation consulting services in an amount not to exceed $44,850 and authorize the city manager to execute the contract subject to approval by the city attorney.
Seconded by Councilmember Mitchell. Okay. Further comments?
Yeah, just a quick comment. This is a big process. This is going to be a long process. I think this is an important step for us to be informed in our decision making in the future. I'm more of an agile type of project manager, not necessarily a waterfall, right? So I don't want to wait until the next thing. Let's all just do everything all at once. So I'm really excited about this. And hope that we'll go into the next future discussions a little bit more informed now that we know whatever the findings are from this particular project.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, may I add a comment, please? I appreciate my District 2 council member asking the questions in regards to the wine, and Councilmember Oates asking those questions as well. I hope that as we get ready to prepare for our strategic planning, a part of the planning, strategic planning process will include the why for annexation and how we move forward for the next 5 years. Because I think it's going to be very important for us to have intentionality with this university, but also the outcomes that the state are playing that we do not know what's going to happen, and we need to be prepared for in the future.
Right. Further comments, Councilmember Oates?
So I was just going to comment. My comment about the why is actually more for residents who may be watching our proceedings or engaging. So we have, the benefit of all of these meetings, but I think making sure that as we proceed with the discussions, that it's important that we, include so it's clear to people why we're having these discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Simmons.
Thank you. I just wanted to quickly say I really appreciated Councilmember Mitchell's both of the comments that she made, both regarding the situation of these potential annexation properties in relation to District 4, but also the idea of incorporating some planning along these lines, planning for annexation in the strategic plan. I think that's an excellent idea, and I think it really gets to kind of answering the broader question that I was trying to bring up of it is odd to me that we don't have a plan for expanding our municipality, and I would really love to see kind of that higher level, so I fully support that idea. I think that's an excellent idea.
Thank you. Seeing no other comments, let's take the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? The motion has been approved. Now we go to the number 14, which is a request for our status of the future agenda items. I think we have seen one request about a proclamation. Mayor Pro Tem Mackey?
Yes, I would like to ask that we add a proclamation for Tourette's Syndrome Awareness Month to next week's agenda. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstention? So this has been added, and can we make this proclamation next week? Okay, thank you. All right, I don't think there is any other request. So at this point, I'm going to entertain a motion for adjournment, but before that, because we'll have a closed session, I need to make this a statement. Yeah, exactly. That's the statement I'm making. And it states, pursuant to the Maryland Annotated Code General Provisions, Article 3-305, the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park are providing that they will meet in a closed session after this meeting to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction. Any other personal matter that affects one or more specific individuals, and the council is not going to come back to open session. Now entertain a motion. Please second.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Mitchell, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Mackey. All in favor say aye. Any opposed and abstention? We are adjourned. Good night, College Park.